is Chiro Mafia, and I'm sitting here on the balcony of my place in Venice, just hanging out, having my little espresso and pastry here, and hanging out. Figured I'd call my brothers from other Italian mothers. We all ending in O, Monaco, Borio, Di Domenico. That's
How you doing? Hey,
how you doing?
how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, so I'm
take it easy. You're from Brazil down there. Take it easy. Take it
easy. Yeah. Hey, where are you, Joe?
I'm on the Amalfi Coast back in 1952 is where I am today.
Yeah, there you go, man.
I'm in Mount Pleasant, Italy.
That sounds good.
Yeah, there we go. So Roberto couldn't figure out the background. We said he's really not all that gifted. He just has a big mic. So thank you very much. That was one of we spent like 20 minutes before this laughing about everything. So we decided to put it on tape. So
Roberto, here we go. What's your story? You're from Brazil though, right?
Yeah, I'm from Brazil. My grandfather, Monaco, was from Italy, moved to Argentina.
Yeah, we know why. We know what was going on there. Yeah,
and then
you know what side of the aisle he was fighting on. Holy Jesus. I'm not even getting into that card.
And then my grandfather's from Argentina. Then he moved to a city called Porto Alegre, which is southern Brazil. So my dad's Brazilian. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
Well, your dad's Italian, but he grew up in Brazil.
Yeah. So my grandfather Italian, my grandfather Argentinian, my dad's Brazilian.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's cool. Yeah, a lot of the Italians in World War II,
It's exactly what they did. And
get the hell out of the,
And it's actually in there's small cities.
Yeah.
In southern Brazil, they speak Italian.
Yeah, yeah.
Still.
Tutto parla italiano. Sì.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Io parlo italiano.
Non parlo italiano.
No, in solo spagnolo and inglese.
Solamente espanhol, português, falo português.
Whatever. Portuguese? Yeah.
But people don't know this. People don't know this. But in southern Brazil, they have good places for wine. It looks like Italy, like the mountains and wineries. Southern Brazil. Very few people know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That
cool,
is
man.
awesome. Good stuff.
Well, what's Chiro Mafia about, huh?
No, go ahead, Fred.
Hey, so this is about purpose, about lifestyle. It's about creating patients that live chiropractic. It's not about building a practice, it's about building a movement. So what's a movement? It's an organization of people that have purpose, that want to create societal change. It's not just building a practice or creating a patient. It's creating a leader. It's creating people that live chiropractic. This becomes their primary health care for them and their family. And then giving them purpose and conviction that they're going out, and you teach them right from day one. You're going to break the generational pattern. 1 of your health problems, 2 of your subluxations, 3 of using medicine for healthcare. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring that message out, because there's only one problem in the world, right? That's above, down, inside out. Above, down, inside out spiritual lifestyle, and above, down, inside out healthcare. There's one principle, one problem. Now, what's the other problem? Government and healthcare. Those are the problems, because government is controlling, healthcare is controlling the government. Yeah. And that's our problem. So the only thing we can do, if we want to create heaven on earth, we're all raised Catholic, right? So what did we say? Yeah, what did we say every Sunday? I always say Catholicism made me great at CrossFit. Stand up, sit down, kneel, stand up, kneel, stand up, sit down. The reason I can do 5,000 walking lunges is because I was raised in Catholic church. Yeah. And then if I do this one, I really feel powerful. Spiritus Santo, right? And that takes you all the way back to the Cheech and Chong movies, Cheech and Chong records. So what do? We have people that have the purpose to create world change. They create societal change. So we're here to give you some of the strategies, mindset, philosophy, principle, that you're not here to build a practice. You're here to create a lifestyle, chiropractic, healthcare lifestyle, movement. And if that's what you want to do, subscribe, stay on every week, and train with Roberto, train with Joe, train with whoever you're training with. But if you're not learning how to create a movement, in my opinion, you're selling yourself short.
So here's the issue. So when you talk to a lot of docs, you know, and I get it, I totally get it. You know, there's a well, I'll let Roberto jump in on that, but there's issues why a lot of people don't want to maybe get out in front of other people. But if I'm going to teach, you know, and this was one of the conversations I had with our group, but if I'm going to teach math, right, and I'm a municipality and I got to teach a bunch of kids math, you know, you could teach each kid math individually, right? But I got 6,000 kids to teach, or I can teach them in a group. So to me, if we're trying to teach the masses chiropractic, if we're trying to teach them what healthcare, if we're trying to create a movement, right, we got to get in front of people. And the most efficient way to do it is to get in front of a lot of people at one time, for multiple reasons. So, you know, there's reasons why people don't do that. And so I'm going to pick Roberto's brain. So first off, I got Roberto Monaco, rock star. Roberto, what's your cred? I mean, you're how long you been teaching people public speaking?
Start doing public speaking professionally since 2002 with the Anthony Robbins companies. So I was there for 6 years, from 2002, 2008, doing 400 talks a year. And then after 2009, around January or so, open up Influenceology. So I have been doing this since 2002. So I'm going on my 22nd year, 22 years. And next year, one of my classes, which Fred been to the class, influencing from the front, is going to turn 15 years. So I'm super, wow. I'm super passionate. And can I share my screen during the podcast here, or just audio? Disabled?
Yeah, do whatever you want, man. Let's see. I got to give you. I got to give you
permission. I want to share.
Want to share people to get approval on these slides first, or no? I mean, what
yes.
I don't know what's going on.
I show my mic.
Get approval on
Fred, want to see my big mic?
I'm going to show my big mic.
Yeah, like that's like bringing in a witness into a trial that wasn't on the list.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to show you this. This quick. Can you see my picture here?
Yeah.
So this is the picture where the first time I hold my daughter, that they want to take her to the hospital because she was born after 22-hour labor and she had amniotic fluid in her lungs. And by California law, if you have a natural birth at the birth center, we have 12 hours. After 12 hours, both the mom and the baby must be healthy to go home. And they want to take my baby to the hospital. And then what I did, like a good chiropractic patient does, I texted my chiropractor, Dr. Ryan Hummel. He came. He adjusted my daughter twice on her atlas that was subluxated. And when she was clear, she gave my daughter to my wife in like a movie. Sophia threw up the amniotic fluid that was stuck in her lungs. I gave the most beautiful, powerful baby cry. Right? And then what happened was, if you have kids, and some of people have kids in the hospitals, and you do the drive home, the safe drive home, that was the picture of the drive home. And this picture here, this is important to talk about the movement that you, Dr. Fred, are talking about. This picture, I had my old iPhone, and I took it 3 days after she was born. And for many years, my wife couldn't have her period because of interference of the years of stress, chemical stress, birth control pills, emotional stress, environmental stress, chemical stress, physical stress, that chiropractic allow her body to restore and function at the highest level possible. And then there's a reason why I'm telling this. And then this is Phoenix. When Phoenix was born, he was born 2 days later. We have a hurricane came in South Carolina. I couldn't, my chiropractor took 2 days to adjust. And now, this is my family now. So Sophia is 6, Phoenix is 4, They never been vaccinated. Phoenix is 4, never took an aspirin. Sophia twice. We caved in. I gave antibiotics. Not proud, but for that's it. Now the reason I tell this is because there is the adjustment, right? The miracle, truly miracle, right? And then you have the chiropractic philosophy. And I feel like while the adjustment is extremely powerful, the philosophy is as powerful, because now we know how to raise our kids.
Well, the adjustment is for the principle.
Pardon, what did you say, brother?
I said the adjustment is because of the principle.
Yeah, thank you. The adjustment is because of the principle.
So
Thank
just
you.
as powerful. No, the principle is 1,000 times more powerful. That's why we adjust. That is the power. So
now I will tell you why I'm here and why I love your question, Dr. Borio. When we did that class, when we decide to go to the natural birth center, they recommend us to have a class about natural birth. I'm not a doctor. My wife is not a doctor. And it was an 8-week class, 3 hours every Wednesday. So you go, 10 couples, 20 people. On the first night, the teacher asked this question. Within 5 minutes, imagine you take a natural birth class in San Diego, California, 20 people in a birth center. And the teacher asks each one of you, 20 people, why are you here? Why are you here? 20 people using different words said exactly the same thing. They all said, we are here because we want something natural. Right? Now, you guys are chiropractors. You're the top coaches in chiropractic. Both of you had huge practices, coach people all over the world. Now, out of 20 people, only one dad, one mom were under chiropractic care. And then after the babies were born, they have this 90-day reunion where the moms come with the babies. And after 90 days, only one baby was being adjusted, which was Sophia.
And how many of those babies were vaccinated, I wonder?
Yes,
they want something natural. How many were vaccinated?
Thank you. So the question I have, and you guys know this answer, right? Why in a natural birth center, people said we want something natural. Well, why 2 out of 10, 2 out of 20 are on the chiropractic care only? Why?
Because we didn't do our job.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
They don't know?
We don't do our job.
Right? They don't know. They don't do your job.
They don't know.
So for me, while pharma has money for lobbying, for ads on my wife get this natural cooking organic recipe. You open up for recipes, organic food. Guess what's inside? Pharma ads. They have money for that, for TV, for lobbying. We chiropractors, including myself, I'm not chiro, but I'm putting
Yeah, agreed.
Here what we have. We have this. We have this. We have this. Right? Tony Robbins, I worked for Tony Robbins for 6 years. He said, you can take everything from me. My company, my island, my planes. I build everything back with the power of speaking influence. And I'm like, so that's what it is. And now when I go through associations, and I've done probably like 4 associations, I like to ask this question. By a show of hands, how many of you here are doing some type of internal workshop, like a Better Results Faster workshop, a patient orientation class? Less than 10%. Then I ask the second question. How many of you here are doing some type of outside talk? Maybe a lunch and learn, maybe a dinner with the doctor. The same 10%. Right? So how are we going to go from the 10% of chiropractic adoption rate to 30, to 40, to 50, to 100 if everybody wants to be quiet?
Right.
If they want to put Facebook ads and wait, right? Because it's comfortable.
Hey, when we get the answer to that question is when chiropractic will dominate healthcare.
Yeah.
Right? Answer that question and we'll dominate healthcare. Especially now.
Go ahead. Sorry.
right? Because people are losing confidence in medicine. Now is our time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, James Parker had a quote with basically, you know, your compassion to serve has to be higher than your compulsion to survive. And that's really where we run into problems, where people are so, and again, I don't say it out of judgment. I'm not trying to beat anybody down, but we're so worried about what other people think. We're worried about getting rejected, you know, so I don't want to say that's all of it, but there's so much of that, you know, we forget if you want to serve the masses and you put their interest ahead of your own, you're willing to sacrifice, you know, saying the wrong thing, being embarrassed, being rejected, because it's going to happen. You know, one of the things we always talk about in chiropractic, like I say, listen, if you don't ask or talk about care for a child, what's the chances of them bringing their child in? 0. So if you talk about it, even if you suck at it, even if you're nervous, even if you're like, I don't know what to say, whatever, or I'm afraid of what they're going to say, but even if you say something, the chances are to bring a family member in is higher than 0. So it's better to say something, even if you suck at it, than not say anything. Now, learn what to say, how to say it. Part of it's going to be putting it out there. Part of it's you got to hire a guy like Roberto if you're not doing it, because you got to learn you got to learn how to tell stories. There's a strategy to do a talk. How do you open? What's the body? What's the close? You know, it's not just a recipe. There's a strategy. And then again, it's not what you're doing wrong, but we can always do things better. So somebody like Roberto comes in, he's an expert. He knows the emotion. He knows the intellect. He knows the movement. He knows the physical state, the emotional state. He knows how to heighten that stuff by what you do, how you do it, what you say. And as such, what you're going to be able to do then is take a talk and not do a presentation, as Roberto taught me. You're trying to do a persuasion. You're influencing other people to make a better decision from your clarity and certainty. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to do it. Go ahead.
Let me say one thing before you chime in, because we have 3 Italians that love to talk. So it's like we got to try and interrupt each other, which is like being at Sunday dinner. But I just want to add to what you say, Joe. And one thing that we say in Elite is your purpose got to be greater than your fear. Because what purpose 100%. Does is give you courage. We all felt the fear. I mean, the first time I gave a workshop, I had diarrhea all day. The second workshop I gave, I didn't have diarrhea. I thought it was a major win. So what's the deal? Purpose gives you courage.
Yes.
And when you have courage, you'll face it. And then you develop the skill. We all had to develop the skill.
Yes.
And we spent a lifetime. Yeah, and so that's why we have you, Roberto.
What you both said about judgment and about purpose, I want to show a picture. But let me talk about the judgment piece first. In my experience, a lot of chiros, they don't want to put themselves out there because they're afraid of being judged. That's a big one. Dr. Joe, that is like 80% right there.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, you're a chiropractor. You know, do you know you picked a life purpose as a chiropractor and you're afraid of being judged?
Yeah,
could you be any more contradictory? You're worried about being judged, and you're a
chiropractor, baby.
Then go fucking, be the grocery bagger at Safeway, because, and even you'll be judged then because you didn't put the groceries in right.
Right.
So what I tell, that's funny, but what I tell people is this: if you don't speak because you're afraid that you're going to be judged, here's the good news. You're already being judged.
Exactly.
So even if you don't say any word, you're quiet.
Yes.
Right? Because I promise you, within 10 miles of your practice, I bet everything I have. 10 miles, 10 freaking miles from your practice, you have someone who needs your help, is willing to pay for your help, but doesn't know you exist.
They don't even know. Obscurity is your biggest challenge.
Thank you. All right.
Hey, let's look at this, man. If you go 1 mile, 2 miles, 360 degrees, you can't take care of all those people that
I love that. I love
1 mile, 360 degrees, you can't take care of them all. So why are you struggling?
Yes. And I want to say something
Purpose.
about what Dr. Fred said. Speaking is the easiest thing in the world, right? Speaking is like speaking. I can get my 4-year-old, bribe him for a candy, go in front of the room and say something. I can do that, right? I'm literally. Now, being effective is different. But the reason I put this pyramid here, and it starts with the Fred said right here, because if you're not attached to your purpose, the people who don't speak, they make themselves bigger, right? Bigger than their purpose. Now, if you really talk about my purpose is to change humanity through chiropractic care, is to create a movement. And if I have that foundation here, that foundation, I'm authentic, I'm a congruent, I know who I am as a leader, as an influencer, I value health, I value it, because value health is one thing, because you can value health but be quiet, but have the value of positive impact. You really value that. So if it's that, so you build this foundation here, the other stuff, the technique stuff, the presentation and the influence and the contacts and the audience, the delivery, all that stuff, eventually you'll be able to take care of that, address that once this really powerful foundation is set in place.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So I love what both of you said about the purpose, because I feel like the people who being a speaking coach, work with a lot of chiropractors and working with the people who or know people, hang out with people like both of you who are rock stars. I know how you guys operate, and the purpose is so deep and so rooted, you guys don't care. And I also see people who could create a 10x their impact. They're not, because they're not attached to it. So
yes, I was listening to Mike Tyson. He said something, I thought it was so great. And he said, the interviewer had asked him, does it bother you when people say these bad things or horrible things? And he said, only when I think I'm somebody. But when I remind myself that I'm nobody, it doesn't bother me. And so it goes into what you said, Roberto, when you don't have the purpose, this becomes bigger, right? And then when the ego becomes bigger, then you're worried about the ego. So just remind yourself that, you know, what your purpose, what you're pushing out there is far greater than you. And, you know, I love that, what you said, and Fred and I hear this all the time, you know, oh, you guys are so high confront, like you don't care what people say. I will tell you that I don't like people say bad things about me. It doesn't hurt me, doesn't, you know, I bleed like anyone else. But what it does is it doesn't change my conviction or my principle. So yeah, it hurts, but it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that hurts. I wish he liked me. I wish she said something nice about me, whatever. I wish I was accepted there. But at the same time, I'm not going to change who I am in some way to create some validation or some acceptance. I'm not gonna water it down. I'm not gonna dilute it. You know, make the fire inside so hot that you can't, nothing on the outside can burn you. So Fred, what's the matter? You're not saying anything.
Yeah, not amazing. I'm usually
you're all staring.
No, I was speaking for association literally 3 weekends ago, 400 chiros in the room, and I'm sitting, and someone said, someone who was not a chiro, who's a wife of a chiro, are you afraid? She like, because you talk about, it was a, we did, she was, hey, are you afraid? She's like, are you afraid? Gonna go next? I'm like, and I looked at her and said, I'm afraid not to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, dude, I'm afraid not to speak.
Exactly.
I'm afraid to tell, of not share my story.
Yeah.
Right? So I am not the believer that mindset is everything. I don't believe that, because I don't care how much positive I am. If I need to drive a plane right now, I can't be able to have the skill. But I think having a mindset is going to help me be open to it and learn faster, right? So mindset is the foundation of everything. I think that's a better way.
Yeah, mindset is why you do something. Skill set is how you do it.
Yeah.
But why you're doing it is the fuel for how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want to boil down to just the why, but the why is the people who do this in and out consistently, effectively. The mindset and the purpose is like, man, is deep, goes
Yeah.
many levels deep.
There's
sure.
that
Well,
great movie with Ford and Ferrari with
Oh, yeah.
Matt Damon, and he was playing
Christian
Carroll
Bale.
Shelby, and that speech he gives, and he said, that you love what you do, and those people are lucky, but there's a group of people that are compelled, and I don't know if they're blessed or not, but that's what you're talking about. That's what Fred feels. That's what I feel. Like, you feel compelled. I'm nervous not to tell the story. It's not about you. It's not about you anymore. Don't die with the voice left inside you. Don't die with the song left to sing inside you. Like, there's something to be said. You have something to say. It's not that everyone's going to get it. That's fine, but no one's going to get it if you don't say it. If you get up and say something, even if it's a few people, that starts the movement. So.
Well, I'm going to teach, since we're all, I don't know if you want to call it Christian or whatever, raised Catholic, we'll say, Psalm 139:16. And, I don't think there's any more powerful reason than this if you choose to believe it. And it says, you saw my days before I'm paraphrasing, before any of them were formed. And all the things in your life are happening for you, right? So what's that mean? So imagine that you're in the spirit world and you're looking at a movie trailer of your life and you're saying, put me in, coach. And you think, your personality, your humanity may not choose everything that you've been through. Yeah. Your humanity may not choose it, but your spirit sees it as an evolution. As you're a spirit having a human experience, you're not a human seeking spiritual experiences. So if we take responsibility that we all chose to be a chiropractor at this time in history. You could have done anything else. You could have been a mechanic. You could have, sweep streets. You can be a CEO. You can be whatever you want to be. But you chose the principle of chiropractic, which is a spiritual principle. So if you believe this is your soul, SOUL, purpose, then there would be no greater fear than not fulfilling it.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And when that's your greatest fear, then all of a sudden you're still scared, but now you have courage, because it's scarier not to do it than it is to get up and do it. And eventually, and with speaking, I mean, you have a ready, aim, fire, but a lot of that is a ready, fire, aim. I mean, you think you're going to go to Roberto and you're going to do it perfect the first time? Hell no.
No.
But then you aim. You fire the first shot, and then you aim, and the next thing you know, you're hitting the bullseye.
Yes.
It's fascinating about this conversation, and I look up to both of you. Both of you are leaders, and I respect and I love, admire.
Actually, and on our height, you look down to us. But hey, whatever. Keep going.
Speak for yourself, Fred.
But you know what it is. What I love about both of you, you don't need to be doing the podcast right now.
Yeah.
You don't need to be sharing, providing value, inspiring, but you do it because
we need to do it.
You need to do it because you want to do it. You need to do it. You want to do it. You want to serve, and the fire, and being able to cultivate the fire that both of you have after Dr. Joe Boyer. How many years have been practicing? Or
33.
33. Dr. Fred, how long have been in chiropractic involved?
87. So what's that? 3, 4. It'll be 37 years.
All right. And these guys are in a passionate scale. You just blow up, the scale because you're like level 10 plus. And that's I think is a point that, if you love chiropractic, don't you love talk about chiropractic?
Yes.
That's simple. Right? I mean, it's that simple. Now, I don't talk about accounting because that's not my gig, right?
Exactly.
I don't talk about filing or whatever, right? Because I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. So and I feel also too in this.
By the way, I don't know a lot of Italians that are accountants. Just saying. I think, I
They
mean,
do
if
a
we
different
had
kind
that-
of accounts. They're called
yeah,
Yeah.
books.
yeah, we work on accounts, but we don't
Run
do
numbers.
accounting.
That's what that's.
No, I think
Hey,
that's
boy,
more
hey,
like
hey,
a,
hey.
yeah, that's like saying that's like a Maniscalco, man, right? He says, I don't want an Italian surgeon. How did he get through school, right? I want my surgeon to be Goldberg. You know,
Exactly.
I want a Jewish surgeon. I want a Jewish accountant. I want a Jewish
Exactly.
lawyer. I don't want an Italian lawyer. I don't want an Italian accountant.
That's funny. Um,
Yeah,
I
you
was-
know, going on what you said, Roberto, it's funny that we're doing this, and a couple of people that are close to me, and then a couple of people that, you know, that I work with, they're like, what are you doing that for? You know, like, what are you doing like, why are you doing that? Why are you putting, you know, look at how successful you are. Look at, you know, you're already doing all the stuff with the practice of coaching. Like, it's really funny. And I read something many years ago, but people that are convicted, like, you can't look outside yourself to be understood. No one's going to understand you ever.
That's
But no one's going to
beautiful.
understand. So I gave up years ago. I'm not trying to get you to understand me, and I'm not even going to explain it. It's what I do. It's who I am. If Fred calls me and says, hey, let's do a podcast, fuck it, we're doing a podcast. We're going to do it Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Okay, let's do it Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Can we do it every week or every other week? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Like, what are you doing? What else am I going to do? I'm going to be on leading this ship. We can get out here and share chiropractic, hang out with movers and shakers like you that change the world and help us as chiropractors communicate the principle better. You know, Fred talks about that movement. We can't have a movement if we don't have speakers and leaders. And speakers and leaders, you got a couple guys that might roll out of bed and be great at it. But you know what? The rest of us got to learn how to do it. Yeah. And why not hire somebody like you to teach us how to do it? I didn't learn how to be a chiropractor by myself. I didn't learn how to play football by myself. So I'm not going to learn to be a great speaker by myself. I got to hire people and work with people like you that know how to do it to make me great.
By the way, we've all been clients of Roberto's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were clients for about the first 5 minutes on the first phone call, and then we were brothers.
Roberto, I literally have a journal. I have a journal, and I don't have it right here. I think I showed it to you a few years ago. I have a journal of it's just Roberto. Everything, every aspect. I got one with Fred on it too.
Oh, I appreciate the love. I really appreciate the love. I feel like now, as you look at this age we are, so for Fred said, this opportunity, people are skeptical, 100%, people open-minded. But then we have, in one side, we have this amazing technology. I mean, technology is amazing, truly. You guys in Italy, I'm here in South Carolina doing this podcast, for real. And then I'm gonna blast my list. Guys are gonna blast. A lot of chiros are gonna listen to. I think there's the power of technology that I feel chiropractors gotta be able to tap into it, doing videos, live video reels, YouTube videos, and then the power actually of doing workshops and speaking in front of people, doing talks. So I really hope that for me, I think the biggest thing when I work with people or people come to my class, you know, they have their outcomes. I want to be able to close better, tell a story, deliver my message, overcome my fear, blah, blah, blah. My outcome is this, super simple. I want every person to absolutely love speaking, because when you love speaking, speaking loves you back. If you love speaking about chiropractic, guess what? Speaking gonna love you back. You're gonna have more impact, more influence, more income.
Yes.
Right? So to embrace that, literally to embrace.
Yes.
Awesome. So because we spent so much time before we hit the record button, which was absolutely hilarious. So I just want to tell a quick story. I don't know how many years, I think it was 2018. I was having a seminar, elite seminar, and we had all Italian speakers, man. I mean, we had Monaco. Oh, we did have the token Jewish guy, Neil Cohen, but we had Chris Zano. I don't know if Jim Temple was there.
He was married to an Italian, just for
yeah, Borio, Monaco. Who else did we have, man?
Zano.
We had Zano, and for some reason we had all these sound speakers. So we went out to dinner the other night. We started joking around. about being Italian, and then, hey, what would an Italian ROF look like? And we started role playing all this stuff. And, oh, we had Dan Pompa. We had Pompa
Dan
was
Pompa,
there.
that's
Yeah,
right,
Pompa,
Dan
yeah.
Pompa.
What
Yeah,
Italian report of findings look like?
Yeah, what does a Mafia report of findings look
Yeah.
like? So we're gonna have to bring that to you one of these times.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever laughed. It's got to be one of the moments in my life
I agree.
that we had like 8 people that were literally crying. The whole
Crying.
restaurant was staring at us.
Crying.
It was so funny. So Joe and I said, you know what, man? We talked about this for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And we tried to get everybody together, but getting, picking a weekend was too hard. So
Yeah.
that's why Joe and I started this, and we're going to bring all those people back on here. So
I appreciate
Roberto,
that.
you're our first, just for the record.
Oh,
Yeah.
I appreciate your first. Oh,
Yeah.
of course I have a big microphone. Of course I'm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
exactly. You got a big
biggest
mic. Got a big mic. We're gonna leave it
So
there.
hey, so we really need to wrap up here. So how can people get a hold of you, man? If you haven't trained
Yeah.
with Roberto, it's an absolute must. You want to create a movement, you got to train. You got to speak one to many. So how do they get a hold of you, brother?
Yeah, we can go to Chirospeaking.com. Chirospeaking.com. Super
There
simple.
you go. Yeah.
And then
nice.
you have if someone to reach out to you on a face page.
Yeah,
Facebook
I got all social media platforms: Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest.
And then real quick, we only got a couple minutes, but let me ask you, like, so I'm interested, but I'm nervous. Maybe I'm like, I don't know what this involves. Like, do you do online? Do you do?
Yeah,
like,
I have live
work.
workshops, have in-person workshops. I record 43 trainings. They are an hour each for chiropractors. I have a lot of one-on-one coaching. So I have all different methodologies and training to serve the chiropractic profession at the highest level possible. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
ready.
then a lot of times, one of the ways you do it, which I know you've done with me, is like, hey, Joe, send me a recording of what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
right?
we do that a lot too. Oh yeah,
because that makes it easy for them too. You know what I mean?
100%.
If you're already doing something, you can kind of watch it, give me some input on it, right?
Well, there's something that was on these notes. I was coaching a doc. He was doing actually a Better Results Faster workshop, which was a 55-minute workshop. And the guy started talking. And you guys, do you know when you go in the mall and you're a Sunday or Saturday, if you go to the mall, I don't know if you guys go to the mall, and you see people bad posture, even if you're not thinking about chiropractic, your brain goes, bad posture, bad posture. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I see patterns. And this guy in 55 minutes had over 70 filler words, 70. And research communication talks about that when you having a few here and there is not a big deal. It's not a problem at all. But if you have 70 in 55 minutes, 100% is impacted conversion.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, people are not even thinking about it. I think about it because
subconscious.
Because I want to help people just convert more. That's one of 1,000 things.
Yes.
All right, King, we got like 2 minutes here. So Roberto, you want to leave him with a one-liner, one last thought? We got like 2 minutes. What do you want to leave him with?
But first of all, Chiro Mafia, I want to have a tattoo now. Boom, Chiro Mafia. Love it. Appreciate both of you. I love both of you. And I have a saying that I live by is that if you don't share your story, the marketplace will create one about you. So just tell your story. Say yes to speak opportunities. Yeah. Say yes to talks. Say yes to invitations. Say yes to your patients. Say yes to speak opportunities. Right? That's the message.
Say yes.
Say yes. Yeah.
What about you, brother? What about you, Joe?
Well, Roberto said about getting a tattoo. Yeah, that is a must. I guess you didn't see the fine print before you signed up. So there is a tattoo. Mandatory.
It's in the contract.
Exactly. So and there are going to be a couple of guys. They're going to show up at your house.
Yeah.
They're going to have a violin case. Just let them in. Okay. They might look like us.
Don't resist. Don't resist. Resistance is bad.
Oh, by the way, I wish I had to record both of these guys coach me on how to coach my 4-year-old. I wish I had that recorded. That
Thank
video
God
go
that
viral.
wasn't
This video go
recorded.
viral.
Thank God that wasn't recorded. Holy shit.
Why do you think Joe's only has gray on one side of his
Hey, wait,
head?
one question. No, that's because my shampoo, I didn't hit it right when I put it in my hair to dye it. Hey, Fred, you're how old are you?
Yeah, I'll be 63 in a couple
And
months.
what are you, Roberto?
53, 53.
58. Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's up with that?
Yeah.
So look, man, give us your one-liner. We gotta go. Oh yeah, you already did. What was it?
What is your one-liner, Fred?
What
Yours.
my one-liner?
Yeah.
You know, I would say don't settle for a practice, create a movement. Don't just settle for building a practice. Don't just settle for creating a patient. Create a leader.
Amen.
Mine's straighter's better than crooked. Straighter's better than crooked.
Yeah, and straight is better than crooked. There you go. Hey, love you guys so much, man. Love all of you. Please share this everywhere. Subscribe, share. Hopefully you got something that can shift your mindset, shift your purpose, take you to the next level. And stay tuned because we got more exciting episodes coming up from other places in Italy. So
Yeah.
peace.
Roberto,
Bye.
you're a fucking rock star, man.
Yeah,
I love you,
man.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
I
Love you.
love
See you
guys.
later.